Scientists who study the effects of radiation on living organisms are seriously concerned and widespread. Some researchers talk about that modern people literally bathe in an ocean of radiation. Radioactive particles invisible to us found in soil and air, water and food, children's toys and wearable decorations and building materials and antiques, seemingly harmless object may be hazardous to health. But even our organism itself can be called in small degree. Radioactive tissues always contain the necessary chemical elements, potassium, rubidium, and their isotopes in this way. Every second in us occur thousands of radioactive breakups. So in this video, let's talk about how radiation affects the body. And so what is the essence of radiation? An atomic nucleus is made up of protons and neutrons. Their layout for some elements may be, simplistically speaking, not really lucky because of what they become unstable. Such Jaegers have an extra energy from which they aspire. You can get rid of it. Like this ways, the first alpha decay at which throws out small pieces of 2 protons and 2 neutrons. The second way, beta decay in the nucleus, a proton becomes a neutron, and on the contrary, they are thrown out beta particles which are electrons or their counterparts with the opposite sign, anti-electron, and finally, gamma decay. In such a situation, there is a release excess energy from the nucleus in the form electromagnetic wave. Besides, this core can emit protons and neutrons, and even completely fall apart. So despite the type's origin of any type of radiation are high energy. The flow of particles, while they move with great speed, tens and hundreds of thousands of kilometers a second, and this flow is very detrimental effects on the body effects of radiation on the human body. Our body goes on continuously, 2 opposite processes, death and cell regeneration under normal conditions. Radioactive particles damage DNA molecules up to 8,000 different compounds per hour, which the body then restores itself. Therefore, doctors believe that small doses of radiation activates the biological system, protection of the body, but large destroy and kill. And so, radiation sickness begins at getting 1-2 tics everts, when the doctors fix both the first degree in these situations, require monitoring and regular follow-up examinations, subject of oncological diseases dose 2 to 4 Siebert of means, second degree on radiation sickness, in which treatment is required if help arrives during a lethal, the outcome will not be fatally considered dose from 6 verts, when even after bone marrow transplants only 1/10 of the sick can be saved. Without a dosimeter, it is impossible to understand what you are exposed to. Dangerous at first, the body does not react to it in any way. Only after a while nausea may appear, headaches begin, weakness and temperature rises at high doses of radiation exposure in the first Q affects the hematopoietic. There is almost no system lymphocytes, the number of which depends immunity level. At the same time, the number of chromosomal breakdowns in decenter cells to the average human body should not be exposed to radiation, yes, for which more than 1 milady worth a year, but irradiated examples 17 vert probability development of incurable cancer is approaching to the maximum value. Well, now let's talk more about how radiation affects on the body damage to cell atoms. The process by which radiation affects the body, called irradiation, is extremely destructive force that transforms cells, deform their DNA, and leads to mutations and genetic damage. Destructive process can start just 1 particle of radiation action, of ionizing radiation. Specialists are compared by a snowball. Everything starts small, then the process increases until it irreversible changes on atomic level. It goes so radioactive particles fly at high speed, knocking electrons out of atoms into, as a result, the latter acquires positive charge. The dirty work of radiation is only in this. But the consequences of such transformations are catastrophic. Free electron and ionized AI enter into complex reactions, resulting in the formation of free radicals. For example, water constituent approximately 70% of the mass of our body exposed to radiation breaks down into 2 radicals. These pathological active particles react with important biological compounds, molecules, DNA, proteins, and enzymes and fats. As a result, the amount in the body increases, damaged molecules of toxins, as well as cellular metabolism suffers, and through some time affected cells or perish. Or their functions are seriously impaired, which happens to apple scientist organism, due to DNA damage and gene mutation. The cell can't divide normally, the most dangerous consequences of radiation exposure to high doses. The number of affected cells great they can. It is harder to refuse. Organs and systems absorbs tissue radiation in total, which are actively dividing cells such as bone marrow, lungs, gastric mucosa, intestines, and genital organs, and not even much radioactive object for a long time contact is still harmful. Body. Thus, mind-delayed action can be your favorite pendant or lens camera. Huge danger of influence radiation on living organisms is that for a long time, she did not herself shows the enemy enters through the lungs, gastrointestinal tract, and skin. And we don't even suspect it depending on the degree and nature irradiation results in acute radiation sickness. Dysfunction of the central nervous system's local radiation injury burns malignant neoplasms, leukemia, immune diseases of infertility and mutations. Unfortunately, nature is not provided for human organs. Feelings that could give him danger signals when approaching radioactive source, so to protect yourself from such sabotage without always present at hand. Household dosimeter will be enough. Not easy if you like it and want more. Be sure to like these videos, subscribe to our channel, and click on bell so you don't miss new ones issues.